1. Galactic Council discussion. Setting: a massive, circular interstellar chamber with towering walls lined with glowing symbols and alien inscriptions. The ceiling is domed and adorned with holographic constellations. Characters: various alien species, each distinct in size, color, and physiology. Some have tentacles, others insect-like features, and some appear as energy beings. They sit in levitating seats or at long curved desks. Main focus: a large holographic display in the center of the chamber. It flickers between different scenes of Earth warfare, knights clashing, modern tanks firing, soldiers practicing martial arts, and futuristic battle simulations. Atmosphere: the council members have mixed reactions. Some appear horrified at Earth's brutal history, others are fascinated. A few argue, pointing at the display, while others watch in stunned silence. Details: floating drones record the meeting. Some aliens take notes on glowing tablets, while others whisper to aides. The lighting is soft but highlights the tension in the room. 2. Medieval warfare. Setting: a sprawling battlefield covered in dust and blood, surrounded by rolling hills and a distant fortress under siege. The sky is overcast, casting a grim shadow over the battle. Combatants: hundreds of knights in heavy plate armor, wielding longswords, axes, and maces. Infantry soldiers fight with spears and shields. Mounted knights charge on war horses with lances. Main action: a chaotic clash in the center, knights locked in brutal sword fights, some fallen, others still charging. Archers on a nearby hill release a wave of arrows. A battering ram smashes against a castle gate. Atmosphere: loud clanking of steel, battle cries, and the shouts of commanders trying to rally their troops. The ground is littered with broken weapons, fallen banners, and injured soldiers. Details: mud splattered across armor, banners waving in the wind, blood-soaked shields. Some knights wear elaborate heraldry, showing allegiance to different factions. 3. Modern warfare. Setting: a war-torn city with ruined buildings, crumbling infrastructure, and thick black smoke rising from distant explosions. The sky is filled with helicopters and fighter jets. Combatants: soldiers in high-tech camouflage gear, wearing helmets with visors. Some carry rifles with laser sights. Others operate heavy artillery. Special forces soldiers advance through rubble, scanning for enemies. Main action: a tank fires a shell into a distant structure, causing a fiery explosion. Soldiers run through debris, taking cover behind sandbags and wrecked vehicles. A fighter jet soars above, launching a missile toward a distant enemy outpost. Atmosphere: high tension and urgency. Gunfire echoes through the streets. Radios crackle with commands. Smoke and dust obscure visibility, making navigation difficult. Details: military drones hover above, scanning for threats. Bullet casings litter the ground. A soldier applies first aid to a wounded comrade behind cover. Tactical maps are displayed on digital wrist devices. 4. Martial arts combat. Setting: a traditional Japanese dojo with wooden floors, red banners displaying martial arts symbols, and a large open training area. The lighting is warm but focused, highlighting the intensity of the fighters. Combatants: skilled martial artists in traditional GI uniforms, gloves, and belts indicating rank. Some are practicing solo katas, while others engage in sparring matches. A group watches from the sidelines, analyzing techniques. Main action: 2 fighters in the center of the dojo. One executes a flawless spinning kick, while the other blocks and counters with precise jab. Their movements are fast and precise, a blend of years of training. Atmosphere: a mix of discipline and intensity. The only sounds are the fighters' controlled breathing, the thudding of feet against the wooden floor, and the occasional clap from an observing instructor. Details: sweat dripping from the fighters, beads of focus in their eyes. Calligraphy scrolls on the walls display wise martial arts proverbs. A wooden weapons rack in the background holds training swords and staffs. 5. Futuristic warfare. Setting: a neon-lit battlefield on the outskirts of a futuristic city. Hovering skyscrapers glow in the distance, while giant holographic billboards flicker with messages of war and resistance. The air is thick with smoke and the hum of high-tech machinery. Combatants: human soldiers in advanced exoskeletons with glowing visors and reinforced armor plates. Some wield plasma rifles, others control robotic attack drones from wrist-mounted consoles. Main action: A squad of heavily armed soldiers advances through the war zone, dodging energy blasts from enemy forces. A massive mech stomps through the battlefield, firing energy cannons. Drones swarm overhead, engaging in aerial dogfights. Atmosphere, a mixture of high-tech warfare and desperation. Explosions light up the sky, and energy weapons create blue and red streaks through the air. Radio chatter between soldiers is filled with urgency and commands. Details, holographic tactical maps project from wrist devices. Some soldiers have jetpacks, allowing them to quickly reposition in battle. AI-driven combat machines march in formation, responding to commands. The city skyline in the distance shows signs of both destruction and high-tech resilience.